Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much live now. So I'll do the welcome. Usually I do an intro. Welcome back to the Land Flipping Formula weekly live session brought to you by the Land Investing Pros, Paul and Willie. I'm your host, Abdel, and with me is Willie G himself. So how are you doing, Willie?
I'm doing well. How are you today, Abdel?
Doing pretty good. Just enjoying life right now. And I mean, just to take up a little more time, let us know what's going on with your life right now. What are you up to?
Yeah, so things are good in the land business. And I'm out in Chicago right now. Spent the winter in Florida. Me and my girlfriend were down there, and then came back here for the summer and actually just bought a house. I was just telling you, down there, out near between Boca and Fort Lauderdale. So we'll be down there soon enough. We're excited to head down there. Land business is going well. Things are thriving. Company has grown pretty dramatically, and we're grinding every day, and things are going well. It's fun, and it's been a little while since I've been on one of these lives, so I might be a little rusty.
You're good. Most of the time, I just wing it and hope it works out. So you're good.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, last time you sent me a text message with your like figures, your numbers. How's the business now? I know you said it was like you were saying like 200 a month or something like that. Probably keeping consistent with that.
Yeah. So we're selling consistently over 100 lots a month. We're focused on terms. We're also doing cash flips. We're also doing some land development. We're doing a bunch of different stuff. So we're kind of all over the board, and anything related to land, we're kind of in it. And things are good. We've grown to around 50 to 60 employees at this point, who are helping with everything along the process and all of our business units. And I can't complain. I'm really enjoying it. It's every day is exciting, and it's been a little while since I've been in the core space. We've just been focused on what we originally started with, which is just buying and selling some land, and the coaching stuff just took a lot of our time, and so we just decided eventually to focus more towards just building out that business. So that's just a little update, and things are going well, and very happy with how it's progressed.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, me and Aaron and I always talk about your business and how well it's doing, because we're trying to compete, and we're like, I don't think we're going to catch up, honestly. I think it's going to take a long time for that to happen. So I don't know, man. You're doing really good.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so I guess just to let our viewers know, our few viewers know that today we're going to be sharing about how to start your land business with as little as $5K. And the reason why I wanted to start with this was pretty much because that's how the typical amount that people come to me with. A lot of people that are looking at the course or looking into the deal funding, they typically come in with 5 to 10K. So we want to talk a little bit more about how you can most effectively use that so you can start setting up shop and building your land business, right? And honestly, I think it's pretty simple. If you get the right systems, if you know how to budget your money, you should be able to start setting properties under contract. I don't know. What do you think, Willie? Like when you started out, do you feel like most systems were pretty expensive?
No, I think it's all pretty straightforward. I think you could get started very inexpensively. You don't really need too much other than sending out mail. Choosing markets is easy, cheap. Yeah. Send out mail is, that'll cost something, and then you can buy some cheap lots. You can raise some money. You can, you could either buy cheap lots or raise money or partner on deals. There's a few different things that you can certainly do to get started, get off the ground without spending without breaking the bank.
That's true. Yeah, and like with me, like I've noticed that sometimes I just spend like maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month, and with the way that the market is, you don't need that much capital to get started, I think, and right now people are just selling their land. I actually got a property today the offer got accepted today. So I'm on the phone for that today. Literally almost every day I'm getting calls from people to get for accepted offers or negotiating on an offer. So it can be done with just like 5K.
Yeah, I mean, like a mailer budget. I mean, you could. I mean, there's markets. Yeah, there's a few different ways, but if you just have a mailer budget, I think that's really all you need. And then you can find partners. You can buy cheap lots. You can go to Luna County, New Mexico, buy some lots for $500. I don't even know if I don't know what that market looks like anymore, but you can go to Cochise County, Arizona. You can go to trying to think, like just really cheap lots in Arizona. Out in the desert, you can pick up stuff for $1,000, $1,500, and buy a few of them. Get your portfolio rolling. Sell them, get some confidence, get some speed, or you can just use your whole $5,000 as a marketing budget and say, hey, I want to target $10,000, $15,000 properties. Partner up with someone who's got some cash and split profits, give them 50% just to get your feet wet, or even you don't even need to give up that much, but that's just an easy way to get started as well. So partners, and then if you've got some, once you get rolling, you could probably take out some financing, just debt financing to get rolling. Once you get a little bit more experience, and you could raise capital. So there's several ways you could get started.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably the best way to scale is to immediately find partners, right? To see if you can leverage money, other people's money, so you can start working on deals that maybe are more high ticket. That way, your budget for sending out letters and so on, you can use all of the money that you have for that.
Yeah. So how'd you get started?
So
what was your budget when you got started?
5K.
So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's why that's the minimum. When people ask me like, how much do you need to get started? I'm like 5K. Like literally, that's what I say. I know like there's people who wholesale, and that's cool. Wholesaling is really competitive, so kudos to you guys who are doing it. But I didn't want it to go that route. I started learning a few things, and Aaron was really the main one who coached me on all of the stuff that I know. So I gotta give that. And then your course, of course, that was a big help too, for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you need necessarily more than 5K. I think you could probably even hunt deals. I don't even think you need any cash. You could literally hunt deals down on Zillow, find the best markets that you think based on the data, like start trolling those markets and just calling people, and then find money to buy those deals. We don't buy many off of Zillow anymore, but we used to just troll Zillow and just buy lots and find some bulk deals, buy them, sell them, and there's plenty of deals on Zillow. It's just you got to do a little bit more work. Mail is just more convenient, but you could in theory get started with nothing if you just go that route. You don't even need a marketing budget. You could just start looking at deals and start learning what a good deal is, and start taking action, find money, partner up, and you're good to go. So I don't think you need too much cash to get started.
No, not really. And I looked when I started out. I looked in New Mexico. There were properties for like $300. Like 0.25 acres, 0.13 acres. Honestly, those deals are golden because you can still make profits on them.
Yeah, let me just see. I'm just gonna look up Zillow right now. Yeah, I'm looking at Luna County, New Mexico. There's one thing on the market that's $800. It says it's 5 acres. I don't know if that's right, but
that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull up, and like there's another one here, $2,000. I don't know what that is, but I got a filter on here. Let's see. $700, $800, $800. You could literally buy some stuff off Zillow. If you call these people, I bet they'll take your offer of like $300, and you could sell it for $1,500, $2,000. So yeah,
you don't have to start right away. The way like right now, I guess what's the most expensive property that you're looking for? What's your range in property that you look for?
You're asking me, just for our business. So ours, I mean, we'll still buy stuff for $2,000, but we're going more upstream now. but we'll still buy that stuff. We'll buy stuff for 10, 15, 20. We'll buy some stuff for over 100,000. We'll buy some stuff. I think the most expensive thing we bought was $250,000. I don't think we've ever spent anything more than that. We're not doing, but the more upstream you go, the more likely you're going to just try to sell those for cash. That's just kind of how it goes. The people who buy those properties are developers, people looking to build right away. They can get bank financing. They could actually go out and they're ready to start using those lots. So yeah, I mean, we're all across the board. I mean, I've got experience from all the full spectrum of lots. We haven't dove too much into commercial stuff or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we'll depending on what price point we buy at, we'll just have a different exit strategy. What about yourself? Where are you targeting?
So mainly right now, I'm going crazy in Florida. Florida is just, I don't know, I love it. So I'm more around Fort Myers and Cape Coral area, pretty expensive lots. I guess you could say more of my highest property would be around like 35K was the last one. That was pretty much it, definitely not at the $250,000 range, but yeah, working up there. And what's awesome though in that area is because it's so competitive, but you get so many people who get blind mutual offers. There's a blind offer, they just see that I'm ready to pay and they immediately call me. I'm like one of the first people that they call, is that what I'm noticing. And then I can just work with them and leverage whatever they price point they're looking for. And yeah, it's pretty simple from that point on, working with the owner.
That's good. So you're sending out blind offers in that $30,000 to $40,000 range mostly, and then, or at least right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's good. What are you trying to sell those for?
So what I'm looking at in Zillow is that I could probably sell that, and I don't know, I just moved my computer here. I'm getting really excited talking about these numbers. So like 98, I'm looking at 20 max probably is what I would advertise them at, and then maybe promote a discount or something like that.
Yeah, those are pretty decent margins. Those are great margins. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know, because I don't know how often you speak with Aaron, because he's in Arizona and most of his market is in Arizona. He just shifted to Florida, but he acquired a few properties, and most of his properties he acquires for like under 5K or under 10K, and he still sells them for like 20 to 30K or like something crazy like that, some crazy margins. He holds on to them for a little longer, but but he definitely ends up making a really good profit on it. For you, do you keep your how long does it take for a property to sell for you? Do you have an average time?
Yeah, so I'd say it varies on where the property is, what the market is, and what your exit strategy is. So for us, if we're buying in a rural area and we're going to sell it on terms, it'll probably take us 45, 60 days on average. If we're buying a lot in the hot market and trying to sell for cash, it'll be on the market sometimes like a day and it's gone. The cash deals, the ones we buy for cash, we know are good. We got a realtor comping it out for us. We're going to sell those, generally speaking, a lot faster. So our cash markets, the ones where we're buying, we're sourcing and just listing with a realtor selling cash, or listing just on the MLS ourselves selling cash. Those will generally go faster with lower margins. Usually it's about we'll double our money on those, the cash ones. And for the terms one, it's the margins are crazy. So 4, 5, 6, 7 times your money, but it's over a lot longer time frame. It sits in the market longer. Those are a little bit, those are more marketing based leads. You just throw it on your website, throw it on list it on, and with the listing, just your owner finance terms, and that'll get it sold. So I'd say 45, 60 days for the terms deals, and less than a month for cash deals so far, is at least under contract.
Nice. Oh, that's really fast. That's pretty awesome. But I think we should probably get into the topic. I mean, before we jump into it, guys, if you're out there watching this, send us some hearts. We already got a few hearts here, some likes. Comment any questions that you might have. We'll answer them here for you. But pretty much, I think to get started, like Willie said, you just need a mailing budget. As long as you're doing outreach, trying to get in contact, trying to get on the phone with the owner, with the property owner, you should be able to set any property under contract pretty much. And then finding an investor, or you could even do the deal funding with us at the Land Investing Pros. The deal funding is a really good way. If you're just getting started and you don't want to worry about selling the property, you just want to set it under contract, you can go and submit it to us and we'll be able to take care of it for you.
Yeah. Where do they submit the deal funding request?
So under Land Investing Pros, under the deal funding program,
Okay.
you should like that. If you
Right.
want,
Yeah. I think Elise is still doing that. Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah. So if there's your easy money partner right there. Go to landinvestingpros.com and go to the deal funding, and she'll vet your deals. If she's interested, she will just buy it for you. So I mean, she knows that we're doing this right. She's got a lot of experience. So she's a fellow land investor. And I used to take for granted those that are like in the same community of people trying to get started with the same perspective as you. And like now that I'm so deep into this business, I see all these people who buy property, sell property with all these different perspectives. And I'm realizing that this like community that if you're watching this video that you're in, that you've got hooked on is just different than 99% of land investors or just land sellers on the market. And so, I mean, it's a great connection to have someone who comes from that perspective to actually see your deals, vet your deals. And from her perspective, she knows that you're going through and doing everything right. And she's got a lot of experience and has sold a lot of properties through us. So it's a great way, going on there and seeing if she'll vet your deals. And she'll probably even give you feedback on your deals too, which is great. So it de-risks a lot of it too. If she's willing to do diligence on the property and vet it, like that'll tell you if it's a good deal too. So yeah, I think there's no downside if you're just getting started, post in the deal funding and she'll help you out.
Yeah. Looks like we got one Facebook user. Don't know who that is. Let's show this. What payment gateway / service do you use to process your monthly term deals?
Yeah, so there's a few that you can use. I know Stripe is a little bit more not accepting of real estate transactions, but you could start with them. I know another one is called Payment Cloud, and I know another one called Heartland. Those three, I mean, would give you a good. I think those last two use authorize.net. I don't know what Stripe uses. I don't. I'm not super familiar with the like techie stuff on that, but authorize.net works with those two processors, and I don't know if you know what Stripe uses, but I think those are three good ones to start. Do you have any additional feedback on that?
No, just Stripe. That was the one that I was gonna go with, but I don't know what they use. Really keep tabs on that. And that was from Ben Roberto's, I believe. It's really a question. Yeah, honestly, another thing I think to mention on working with any investors, anyone who can fund your deals, in the Land Flipping Formula Facebook group, that's a great community to join. So if you guys are out there looking for a community to join, the Land Flipping Formula Facebook group is a good way to get started. That's where we do these live sessions. That's where Aaron and I go in and talk about all things life, about land flipping. Really, if you just start talking to people, you will make those connections that you need to get your business started. You'll learn from them. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is to learn from somebody who already knows or has gone through the process. It's probably the best thing that you can do and the best way to start your land business.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm not. Okay, I think one of the biggest regrets that I hear from people is when they don't look into a strategy in the very beginning, when they just kind of wing it in the very beginning, and they're not really protecting themselves from a bad investment. You know, they're just kind of just looking out. They just find that free content online and just
Yeah.
try to figure it out on their own as they go. That's really not the best approach. I don't know what you think about that, Willie.
Yeah, I think you got to kind of pick when you get started. Are you going to do cash or are you going to do terms? There's very different, like what kind of markets do you want to look for, what price points.
Right.
And then, yeah, I think it's important to kind of pick and learn. I don't know that one's better than the other. I would say that once the term strategy, you'll get a lot more deal flow. You're going to get a lot less cash back, a lot more financing over time. And you'll get a lot more willing sellers at the cheaper price points. Cash ones, cash markets, if it's a good cash market, you're going to get a lot fewer deals. But the profits will be instant. You'll get cash in your bank. So it's a little give and take for each strategy. They're both very viable. And yeah, they're just very different, but I agree. I think it's important to kind of pick which one and kind of go with it. It might be easier to get started just doing cheaper lots, more deal flow than it is with the cash ones. But the cash ones might feel a lot better when you get a bigger wire in your bank account and a deal just, and then you can just use the proceeds to just buy more lots. So totally different, but I agree with you.
Yeah. And honestly, like, even with your approach on how you're going to do market analysis, maybe in the beginning, if you're going to look into buying a course for land flipping, all of that you should figure out prior to even starting out. You should get your numbers figured out. And when I do the deal partnering with people, when I do the deal partnering with people, that's one of the main questions that I get is like, how do I figure out my price points and so on? So we just look on Zillow when we're doing our market analysis and figure out based on their budget, what money they have to work with, what their best price points would look like, and how many properties they should even look for, what kind of goal to set for that. That way they can start scaling right away. Yeah, we got a question here. Do you ever work with priced? No, I don't work with price myself.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen that thrown around, but I haven't used it myself.
Yeah, I don't either. Hopefully that answers the question thoroughly, but yeah, I honestly with systems, okay, when you're starting out, do you just use Zillow, Willie, or do you use other? Like I know you use DataTree, or like your VAs use DataTree, but to get comps and to analyze the market, do you just use Zillow?
Yeah, I use LandWatch a lot, but for comps, it's a lot easier using Zillow because you can use the map feature. I think LandWatch might have it now, but you could use either. I mean, if there's enough data available in the area on either LandWatch or Zillow, I'm indifferent. I think Zillow's might be a little bit easier to navigate. So I just filter it for land, acreage size I'm looking for, and just use the map feature to scroll, and there's no lag time. I think it's a little clunkier with LandWatch, Land of America or whatever. And there's plenty of data in Zillow, so I just use that as my market indicator usually. What about yourself?
Yeah, just Zillow. That's even when I do the deal partnering, I barely go into LandWatch, but I do use it sometimes. So I'll teach to use Zillow and to get your comparables from Zillow just based on the cluster of data that's in their area.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use either. I'd say it's your preference, but I think generally speaking, Zillow is a little bit easier to use.
Yeah. Honestly, at this point, it just takes me like 15 minutes to decide on an area where I want to send out. It's not even that hard to use Zillow because it's so easy. Once you do it a few times, you kind of just figure it out.
Get stuck with it. Get stick with it. Yeah. Get used to it. Muscle memory.
Yeah, literally. And yeah, just learning how to look at the numbers, and what numbers to look for, based on I guess, the ratio between what's being sold there and what is currently for sale. That can really tell you a lot about how hot a market is and where you should, how even what your offer should be to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like, oh,
that's like anything in real estate, location is the most important thing. So you got to focus on the market, choose the good ones. And even though you can get stuff real cheap in Luna County, like I mentioned, and you can sell it and make money, it might sit a little bit longer. So while it might be a decent place to start, as you get more experience, it might be wise to go upstream, go to the areas where you can be able to sell stuff faster, where there's more market demand, where there's more money transacting. And yeah, Zillow can definitely tell you a lot of that information with like exactly how you mentioned, looking at the sold and the for sale data.
Yeah, I had one of the students that does the deal partnering. He's acquiring, I don't know how many yet, but one owner has 22 properties that he's looking through. So he's just
There you
doing
go.
diligence on the 22 properties. He's only been doing it for a month and a half.
There you go.
He's already got an inventory to look through. And
That's how you got to do it.
yeah, honestly, the way to go. And I think people get scared. This guy did not get. I mean, he was actually kind of scared. I can't lie, Sean. You were kind of scared, but calling you out there. But he was kind of scared to send out so many letter campaigns. But he just did it. He sent out like at least, I think in the first 2 weeks he sent out like 2,000 letters.
There you go.
Yeah, and then
Gotta rip it.
And then after that, he didn't even ask me anymore, like what if he was doing it right or
if you just got the feel for it.
Sending them out as they went, and then he called me one day and he was like, "This guy wants me to buy 22 of his properties, and
what should I do?
Yeah, how do I do this?" And he actually told me like he was already calling a title company.
There you go.
And I was like, perfect.
Do you know where it was? Are you allowed to share?
Yeah, you can.
County.
Yeah, and you could use a mobile notary with that, but that would be a mess. So I just title company would work just fine. Yeah. And they even gave him a deal for that. They don't all.
You gave him a what?
They gave him a deal for all properties that he would.
All right, that's good.
So things like that, they work. You can't get scared or let the fear just keep you from reaching out to these people, getting on the phone and sending them on their contract and buying their property. Because land will sell, and that's the best thing about land, I think, is just going up in value. And the best thing about a hot market is that it's going to sell.
Yeah. Can't overthink this stuff. You
And
buy it at a good price. You question yourself when you're doing due diligence, and then you buy it and it sits, and you panic, and then it sells and you make money. You're like, why didn't I buy more in that period while I was panicking? That's just how it goes. And then you learn.
in the very
then you're like, oh crap, and then you buy a ton of property.
You just have to get used to the panic.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, it's like, oh, this is not selling. I am not sure what I'm doing with my life anymore. But let's talk numbers, I guess. Like Zillow is free to use.
And Zillow is free. That is fact.
Fact. Right?
It doesn't cost money.
It doesn't cost money. You can use it, and you don't have to buy all these expensive other things to price your offers or to analyze a market. I use Agent Pro. It's like $55 or $50 for 500 listings. So once I choose a market on Zillow, I just download all that stuff from Agent Pro. I just get my list from Agent Pro 24/7, and then boom, I got my listings. I send out my listings. Betterprinting.net, I believe, is like, let's say you're sending out 1,000 letters, it's like $750. So in the end, you're spending $800 to send out 1,000 letters. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's scary at first when you haven't done it before, but then you do it, and then you send out a lot more, and then the marketing. Then you're like, oh wow, I'm making so much money from this. It doesn't even matter what I spent on the front end. Right. So,
so good.
Remember when I first sent out my mailer campaign? I spent like $250. I was like, oh my god, this is too much. This is way too expensive. And now we just dump out like a 50,000 unit mailer, and it's like, It'll come back. It'll
We'll
come
see
back.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally right there, with just $800, you can send out around $1,000 letters, and with 1,000 letters, depending on the market and how well you price your offers, so that really just depends on how good you are about analyzing the market. You can probably get about 3, 4 properties if you did a terrible job.
Yeah, if you did terrible.
If you did a terrible job, but if
you didn't call anyone back, you'll still buy 4 properties.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you still do this. We send out the letter, the purchase agreement on the blind offer letter, so that way they can just sign right then and there and send it right back to us. And honestly, that happens. So yes, you might not even have talked to the owner, and they accepted the offer and sent you the letter.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I agree with that. So you don't even need to call anyone.
You don't. As long as they sign it, you can just they'll meet with the mobile notary or whatever, and it gets done. Honestly. Anyways, let's answer this question here. What CRM do you use? I'm cheap. I use HubSpot. Not to call HubSpot cheap, but I'm cheap. So that's what I use.
All right, that's good. We use Airtable. We're moving to Salesforce. It's a big process, but I think we busted Airtable, so it was about time.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, and honestly, I don't think I'm at that scale where I need that big of a CRM system to manage everything that's going into all the income, all the leads and stuff. I just don't need that right now.
Yeah. No, it's not necessary. I used Excel for like 1.5 years, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, 2 years. I used Excel for 2 years. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I still do my own sheets right here.
Yeah.
Spend about an hour or 2 a week.
Yeah.
Just looking at it and just rejoicing over the numbers.
It's easy.
Yeah, it is.
You don't need to get fancy when you get started. No, you don't need a CRM when you get started.
And that's the thing is
you're not doing volume when you get started.
It bugs me with people. When they come to me they want to do the deal partnering and they want to buy everything, all the systems right up front. And I'm like, okay, you can get Pat Live. But you really think you're gonna get that many calls in the first month or 2? Unless you're sending out, 10,000 letters, then maybe you should get Pat Live. Johnny, if you're just sending out 500 letters, I don't think you should get Pat
No, you don't need it. Not when you're getting started.
Exactly. Your voicemail will work just fine.
Blow up. Exactly. Yeah, just send it a voicemail. Call them back.
I still use my voicemail. I still get voicemails on my phone, and it's like 20 of them or so.
Yeah. I think I used my personal cell for like 2 years too. So there you go.
There you go. Really approved. Yeah. And with the due diligence, honestly, everything is already online and at the county website. Pretty much if you learn how to use the county websites, I know they suck most of the time. Those county websites can really take you for a run. You can find out all the information you need to know about the property online. All the records are there. You can call the county record office, and that won't cost you any money, just a little time. Yeah. I don't know, in the very beginning, did it take you very long to find that information? Willie?
I can't remember. I used DataTree, the VAs, just did all the county calling. Mostly DataTree just has everything, or whatever I was using at the time. Now we use DataTree. I was probably using Agent Pro back then. But yeah, you can get all that info. I mean, it's not even that important. You just got to make sure the taxes are current. That's the only thing. Make sure no HOA fees.
Call the county treasurer.
That's about it. That's the only thing that's important. Does the county have a road? Yeah. Or is the property have a road? Yeah. Is there any utilities up to it? It doesn't really matter that much. Like, what are the comps? Show me the comps. That's the only thing that matters.
It's true. I mean, most of the time, you just use that stuff just to negotiate. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no road on this app. Can you show me a road? There's no road. Okay, 2,000 less.
There you go.
Yeah,
Easy.
no pavement there. Yeah. Hey, it's crazy. Some areas where I'm at in Florida, there's some properties that have canal access, right? So they're worth like their market value is at like 120, but they're selling at like $30.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like going crazy.
Yeah, you got to talk to some realtors on those. They'll know the market better than you. That would be my advice. Like if you have questions on a local market and more expensive, just talk to a realtor. They'll help you out. They'll give you comps. They'll tell you what it's worth.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say too is that literally across the street, because these properties across the street from that one don't have access to the water, those are even cheaper. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy. I mean, you find things like that, and you'll be able to you can work with a realtor to get more comps, get more of an understanding of what the market is like. But those are really good because either way, when you're selling these properties, when you're marketing them, that's for people who are doing the sales part, I guess. You're gonna advertise the lifestyle in that area. You know, the property you'll have like 2 pictures of, but in the end, you can just show all the canals and all the beauty of the area and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You sold it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the nice thing about land. It will sell. I think something that Aaron says all the time is that it's really hard to lose money in this business.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. I
It's
only
like
screwed up like once
incredibly
or a few times in
hard.
my first year, and then didn't lose. Yeah, I mean, even those lots still made money on them. One I broke even probably. Maybe one I lost money, but
Yeah.
like $500. So it's not. It's
The,
really hard to screw up.
the call that I got today for the accepted offer over there, I thought that was a bust, and I thought that was gonna be like my second bust, like of mailing campaigns, because I didn't hear anything from them, and I had not acquired anything. It was only like I sent out like multiple letter campaigns. I keep them kind of small, like 400, 300, between there, maybe 500 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of keep them small, but multiply them over the week, and then they'll add up. But yeah, I thought it was a bust, but she called in, accepted the offer, so I'm expecting more.
There you go.
Yeah,
Just keep the leads flowing.
yeah, exactly. Like that's you get kind of like scared maybe or doubtful, but in the end, it's a numbers game. As long as you play a game, you'll probably get something. Let's get this question answered here. Do you need to use a lawyer to close for land in North Carolina for houses? For houses, you do is a comparison. Okay. Can land?
Yeah, we've used an attorney when we close out there. Mostly been doing more expensive lots, so we would have closed with title anyway. I don't know if you can use for cheaper lots. I don't know if you can use just get a deed and just send. I think you can. So I would contact the county and see if they can advise you on if they will accept a deed. So that would be my advice on that. I don't know where Abiel went. Oh, there he is, coming back. There you are.
I have a new.
That's okay. That's good.
It has multiple buttons on it. But yeah, here we are again, back in the land flipping formula live session. Yeah, Nikki, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, honestly, I think people think that this is super complicated, and it can be in certain situations. But if you don't complicate, if you keep it simple, keep your strategy simple, I think you'll be able to make more money that way. Honestly, don't stress yourself out. But I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any more to add?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, just advice: just get out there, get started. Don't need that much cash, as we went over. Be scrappy, and you'll make things work. This niche is very forgiving. Hard to lose money, so just get after it. So I think that's it.
Again, recap, guys. I mean, use free to analyze comps and so on, and price your offers. Agent Pro is pretty cheap. Entry can be pretty cheap to be in wise with it. It's a pretty good tool. And then, of course, most of the letter printing companies out there are pretty reasonable. I use letter printing, that it works. And then, honestly, use the deal funding program in the Land Investing Pros. That would work for you probably really well, considering that they sell really well. That the land investors that work with Willie are pretty much at around that same scale. So don't worry about your property getting sold once it gets submitted and approved and so on. So use the deal funding for sure. And if you're looking for a strategy, a simple strategy, look at Willie's course, the land flipping formula course. You can find it at the Land Investing Pros. You can email me, message me on Facebook to talk about it. But if you want more free content, you can just link in every week on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central. And we'll be here. We'll be talking about all things land flipping. So, and then you can ask us any questions then. And that pretty much wraps it up for us here at the Land Flipping Formula. Hope you guys have a good day. And for those people watching on YouTube, like and subscribe to the Land Investing Pros. All right. You guys take care.